Assalamu alaikum. Mr. Islam Answers back with another refutation of somebody who just doesn't know what they're talking about. Bro, you don't know what the hell you're talking about. May God help you because you're the one that's lost, delusional, and ignorantly arrogant, bro. Like you really don't know what the hell you're talking about. You keep telling me that my dates for the scriptures uh, are wrong, bro. Let me educate you. Let me show. I gotta destroy you now. See, I gotta destroy you. Here is what they're talking about. Papyrus 137, which they say is supposed to be the earliest fragment of Mark. You keep telling me Mark is 70 AD. Again, that's what they say. They say they think it may have been written, but do they have evidence? No. The earliest evidence for Mark, sir, as you see in this article right here, as you see in this article right here, see what they say by Edward Andrews. Okay, what does he say, sir? What the hell are you talking about? P 137 was first published in 2018. However, rumors of the content and provenance of a yet unpublished gospel papyrus have been widely spread on social media since 2012. This was a result of a claim by Dr. Daniel B. Wallace, who said in a debate with Ehrman that a recently identified fragmentary papyrus of Mark had been dated to the late first century by a leading papyrologist. Therefore, it might be the earliest surviving Christian text. While that turned out to be untrue, it is dated to the early middle second century, sir. This is the earliest gospel of Mark. There is nothing from 70 AD. You're the one who doesn't have your Bible dates right. Your own freaking scholars are telling you the earliest for Mark is 125 to 150 AD, sir, which means Mark didn't write it. Mark didn't live that long. This is the earliest proof of the Gospel of Mark. Okay, by Philip W. Comfort, and the earliest extant manuscript of Mark. Edward, this man here, he agrees with that date. Then look what they say when they go further, based upon the paleology. Papyrus 137, again, that's the earliest fragment of Mark. What do they say further? What do they say further? Papyrus 137, Gregory Allen Newbering is designated P137. It is a fragment of the Gospel of Mark in Greek. It is from a codex which is written on both sides. The recto right front side containing Mark 1 verses 7 through 9, and the verso backside containing Mark chapter 1, verses 16 through 18, has been dated paleographically to about 175 to 225, sir. Mark could not have written it because he did not live that long. These are the earliest dates for any Gospel of Mark. You have nothing from 70 AD. So, sir, may God help you with your stupidity and your delusional self. Now, let's move on to Paul, right? Here's more information about the Gospel of Mark as well. I said Paul, but let's continue with Mark. Okay, here's more information about the Gospel of Mark from Lifeway Research. Okay, the article is by Aaron Earls. Okay. Again, what do they say? Recently, the Egyptian Exploration Society announced a new document pulled from the garbage pile, a fragment from the Gospel of Mark dating from 150 AD to 250. This is Mark. You have nothing of Mark from 70 AD, sir. So you're the one who needs God's help with your foolishness and your wrong, arrogant information. Okay? So let's stop it. Now, let's see. Let's move on to that's more information about Mark. Again, saying the same dates, right? Let's go to Paul, right? Let's go to Paul. Where was it, Paul? Where's my one about Paul? Ah, yes, Paul. So what do we have from Paul? This is from Daniel Wallace, another expert on the Bible, textual criticism, etc. Some notes on the earliest manuscripts of Paul's letters. You're talking about Paul. What do they have for Paul, sir? Okay, you don't know what you're talking about. The earliest fragment from Paul continues that is what? Produced in 200 CE, sir. The earliest evidence of any of Paul's manuscripts is 200. Look what it says here. The publication of P46 in 1935, then and now the oldest extant manuscripts of Paul's epistles or letters. has not ceased to pique the interest of biblical scholars, beginning with the plates and texts published by Kenyon, 1936, 1937, and continuing with the virtual birth of reason ecclesiasticism with Zuntz, right? The text of the epistles, etc. Right? You see all that information. Let's get to it. The paleographical dating of P46 to the later first century, this priceless document has made its way to the front lines of biblical scholarship for a long time. Though Kim's suggestion that Chesty Beatty Biblical Papyrus II was written before the reign of Domitian in 81 to 96 has been refuted, the consensus continues that it was produced in 200 CE. Paul did not live that long. Paul did not live for 200 years. But this is the earliest evidence for Paul's manuscript letters, 200. Paul didn't live that long, sir. So what you're talking about is complete and utter nonsense. You are the one who doesn't know your dates, and your concept of God is the one that needs help with, guys. This guy thinks God can do anything, everybody. He wrote, and me and him been going back and forth. He thinks God can do anything, right? So I said, no, I only believe God does godly things. So to him, that's limiting God. But this foolish fool doesn't know that he limits God by making God a man. So I said, okay, can God be the devil? Every time I ask a Christian, a stupid Christian says God can do anything, just ask them, can God be a liar? Well, no. Can God be the devil? No. Oh, but I thought you said God could do everything. I thought you said God could do everything. So why can't God be a liar? Because you realize God, that's not of God. So God can't do everything and won't do everything. Am I limiting God by saying God won't be a liar? Am I limiting God by saying God won't be the devil? No, of course not. Because you know that to do those things are the opposite of God. They contradict what God is. So of course he's not going to be a liar. He's not going to be the devil. So does that mean you're limiting him? So you're the one who needs help with both your dates, because I just refuted you on the dates of these actual manuscripts. And I refuted you on your stupid concept of God, thinking God can do anything, even things that would contradict him being God. You Christians, you don't think. But there you see everybody, okay? And let's go further. Let's go further about this thing, okay? To show you that, look at this article here. This is from biblicalarchaeology.org. And look what they tell us. You don't have anything from the Apostles' time period, dating the oldest New Testament Christian manuscripts, okay? That's the guy's name, Marek Dospel. Right? I believe that's his name. The New Testament that we read today in many different translations is not based on one single manuscript of the Greek, the original Greek text. Why? There simply is no such thing as a complete text of the New Testament that we could date to the apostolic time. Did you hear that, sir? Did you hear that? There simply is no such thing as a complete text of the New Testament that we could date to the apostolic times, or even 2 or 3 centuries after the last of the apostles. Okay, extant manuscripts containing the entire Christian Bible are the work of medieval monks. The modern scholarly editions of the original Greek text draw on readings from many different ancient manuscripts. Okay, but as you see, none of them are from the time of the apostles, as your own Christian scholars, Bible archaeologists are telling you. Okay? All right? As a result, the New Testament presented in any of our Bibles does not correspond to a single authoritative ancient text. Your Bible, New Testament, as he says, they do not correspond to a single authoritative ancient text. There is none, sir. You're the one who needs help with your Bible dates, not me. You're just completely ignorant and speaking ignorance.